Okay, this video is for my students, quite a few of whom have made a product from this old drain pipe. As you can see, the corners are rounded, and we're going to need to make a presentational drawing showing what your end product looks like. Obviously this is not an end product. Okay, let's get started. So I'll use a bit of imagination as to what my product might have looked like. Yours is obviously going to be different. I'm going to draw an isometric, or roughly isometric anyway. I'll draw a horizontal line there, and then over on the left hand side and do like that. Then now this is a 45-degree set square. Really you should have a 30-degree one. I don't have one at home, so I'll just make do with this. Now this is going to be the height here, that's going to be the height there. So I'm going to keep that in parallel. That's in parallel there, and as it's a square section, albeit with rounded corners, that and that should be the same. You could be measuring this. I'm doing it quickly. So there we go. Just light strokes, just to act as guides. You can pencil it in harder later on. So keeping it in parallel. There we go. Keep it in parallel like that. It's not a difficult shape to draw. The main problem is going to be the corners. Now this UPVC pipe has a wall thickness, something like about 2 millimeters thick. So let's just try to draw that in. You may even want to skip through this video. You've probably got how to do it already, although it's the rounded bits, as I say, that could cause you a problem. So let's just have a look at this again. So it does round around like that. So the way I would do this, I'm going to go around like that. Notice that's quite a tight turn radius. This one's going to be quite tight there. And that one's going to be a bit sort of slower, like that. And then, so that's the inside of it, and then come around like that. Remember, it does not have to be 100% accurate. It's not the working drawing for the next CAT. This is your presentational drawing, giving as realistic a view as you can get of what it looks like. So obviously when you do yours, take a bit more care than I am. I'm doing this on my day off as it snowed, and both of my sons are asleep at the moment, so I'm going to do it before they start screaming. There we go. So that's the end edge. Let's put some more guidelines in. So because that sweeps down at the bottom, we're going to see that. Now there's no definite edge along here because it's rounded. I mean, where is the edge? There is no edge as such. So the way I'm going to do that is have some lines like that, and then remember that's going to curve around like that. This one gets a little bit more difficult. That's going to curve around there, I think, like that. I'm not going to draw that in any harder. I think that's going to be acceptable. That's another guideline there. So that's going to go over a little bit like that. Okay. Now for many of you, you've put end caps. You might either have put the end cap flush on the end, or you might have gone inset. Maybe you've gone inset by 20 millimeters, whatever. Some of you have made torches and the like. So you see this point here. I'm going to draw a line from that as my guide. So if it were square sectioned, that line would exist, and it's not entirely square section. So let's imagine that inside this I've put an end cap, or it's an end panel, and it's set in a little bit, maybe by about 20 mil or something. So let's just draw some lines here. Now, of course, if you're looking from this angle, you'll be able to see the inside of this. Be able to see the inside, but only on these two sides here. And of course, it's not going to be. You won't see that line, definite line. So this is going to curve at the same like that. Now, a little bit of shading might be appropriate here. So that's not too bad. And then let's just get that in a little bit darker now. Reasonably happy with that. Now, for many of you, you've got two ends, and some of you have done a solid panel with no features in it, like no switches, no holes or whatever, and others of you have put some holes in there, like for a switch or an LED, a hole for an LED or something like that. So, you know, this now depends on what you've actually done. It might be that you've done something like that. So let's say that that's an LED, for example, big LED. Oh, this isn't going so well, but hopefully you can do better than that. And then remember, I'm just sketching it lightly. You can always use one of these, make a few corrections. Now, let's find halfway down this length. So then maybe I would have maybe a couple of switches, like you've got switches, like if it's a torch, some different mode or something like that. So maybe you've got a switch like that, maybe it's not a switch like that, maybe it's a toggle switch. You know, do it lightly. If you don't like the look of it, you can always redo it, can't you? There we go. It's sort of alright, probably not quite right yet. So I would develop that a little bit more before I penciled it in hard. I could add a little bit of shading. You know, you might decide that you want to shade particular cut edges or something like that. It might be that you want to shade in here to represent the fact that it's you know, it's a little bit dark. Well, unless the torch was turned on, presumably inside here, as it is a bit enclosed, is going to be a little bit darker. So you might do something like that. And that's about it, really. Because it's a presentational drawing, I think if you made that look good, you know, colouring, shading, adding a little bit of colour around the edge like I've shown you before, that would be more than sufficient. If there is some detail that you needed to show inside, and I think you probably don't need to show it on the presentational drawing, but let me just show you anyway. So if you wanted like to show the inner contents of it, what you could do, I'm going to draw, you see it's dash dot dash dot. So if you do that, that's a centre line, and then I'm going to draw a couple of arrows like this. You'll get the idea what I'm doing in a moment. So I'm running out of space. Really, I shouldn't have drawn it over this edge, but I'm running out of space. Get a bigger piece of paper than A4, because you need it on A3 sheet anyway for your CAT work. And remember, you can photocopy it, or you can get me to photocopy it for you. So then AA. Now what is AA? That is a cross section. So if you cut the thing down through like that and then pulled across the two parts, what would it look like inside? So I'm not actually going to do this in any detail now, but let's just quickly draw something over here. Let's get rid of this line. This is the world's most awful eraser. Okay. Well, maybe there are worse, but it's not good. Right, okay, so if this were a cross section and I were to cut the thing in half, you'd see like the top bit of plastic, the roof of it, cut. Now, cut edges are shown like this. I think it's something like 2mm spacing would be appropriate, but it's 45 degrees anyway, that's important. And then like that. And then, of course, if you were to cut down through this piece as well would be cut through as well. Did we cut right through the hole? Yeah, probably. So now, because these two cut pieces are joining, I'm going to do the diagonals. A different thing like that. And then the back one, I don't know what the panel is there. Let's say it's inset, because we don't show this detail in this picture. Let's assume there's no holes in it. Something like that. Oh, and also because we had two holes here, let's get those in. It would be something like that. Hopefully that makes sense. Now, I know a lot of you have internally fitted a bit of MDF, like something like this. And then you've put like your PCB on it, haven't you? Now, I really wouldn't be including the PCB as detail here. I think it's just the case, okay? In fact, I don't think you need this anyway. I'm just showing you. So then, because I've done this, it's called a section, so we'd say section A, like that. Anyway, this is the drawing that you need to concentrate on for your presentational drawing. If you do one drawing like this, but better, if you know what I mean, then you can easily get top marks in the CAT sheet. If you really wanted to, I think you might add a section drawing, but definitely no dimensions, because this is a presentation drawing. It's supposed to look realistic, hence I don't think you need a section. And you can always, if you want though, you could include a section drawing in the next CAT, which is the working drawings. Okay, I hope that's useful. I'll post it on YouTube, and if some of you who've got the day off school because of snow want to do this, you could always practice, couldn't you, before you do the real one. Okay, thanks, bye.